televised stories from China show the lives of ordinary people in dramatically different environments and circumstances all over the country. Action and adventure are everyday features of life along this river gorge in western China, where a family of boatmen earn their livings by delivering rice and other supplies to isolated villages. A television crew documented one of the last journeys of the boatmen before the opening of a new road allowing trucks through to bring in the necessities, and at the same time open new paths to the outside world.
You know, you go into a situation, you got a crackhead that's taking and beating his mother or taking money from an elderly individual.
Shut up!
He went into a rage. She was black and blue, and she had broken pelvic, broken bones. Basically, her son tried to kill her.
They might tie him to a chair, lock him in the closet, lock him in the house.
Shut up! If I have to come in there, I'm gonna be so sorry.
They're in homes, and they're isolated, and nobody sees them. And so it's so easy for the stuff to go on behind closed doors.
You're gonna be sorry now!
I was born in a little town called Demopolis, Alabama, which is about 20 miles north of Selma. Alabama was a segregated South. We moved into a white neighborhood. Going to school with white children, they were as clueless about me as I was about them. My mother taught in school. She taught in black schools. My father worked for a NASA subcontractor. He had finished law school in Ohio at Western Reserve, and he moved back home and, of course, was not able to practice law there. Civil rights is very personal for my family. He was Uncle Ralph. He wasn't Reverend Dr. Ralph David Abernathy, best friend of Martin Luther King. I remember waking up one night, stomach ache or whatever, and Dr. King picking me up and putting me on his knee. And just his calmness. Uncle Ralph was a pastor. He taught me how important it is to remember who is supporting you. They're the people who have nothing to give, but who look to you to make the inroads where they can't go. I decided to go into corporate law, into the corporate side, business side of things. Part of what Dr. King wanted and others was to get us to a place where we were wholly a part of society, where we were not on the sideline. What they had envisioned was an opportunity for me to give back in a way that made a difference economically. This is marvelous. For me to empower people, to be able to hire people, to give them satisfaction in the course of building their own lives. Okay, let's start with a word of prayer. My faith is fully a part of who I am. So, in a corporate environment or in any environment, I'm acknowledging everyone as being important and critical to the process. Knowing that I am watched by God. I think the best lesson I could take from my spiritual journey, in terms of the work that we do, particularly work in a corporation, it's that be who God calls you to be and be where you are. You don't get up and leave because it's tough. It's always tough somewhere. The faith that God calls us to have, He supplies, He undergirds. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't have to be perfect every day. You have to just get up and keep your heart open and try. That's, I think, the call on a person in a business.
Fabric on a stick, paint on a mask, actors moving a figure across the stage. This artist assembles materials and cultures, themes and stories that give us brilliant and imaginative glimpses into our own humanity.
Julie Taymor is a gifted designer and director. She calls herself a playmaker, and she creates provocative theater, opera, and film. There's a collection of her work here at the Field Museum in Chicago called Playing with Fire, and it's igniting the imagination of everyone who sees it. When they first approached you and said, we'd like to do a retrospective of your work, how did you feel about that?
Dead. Young and dead. Dead at a young age.
Julie Taymor's career as a director began in Indonesia, where theater is a part of everyday ritual. What she saw there convinced her that the purpose of art is in the act of creating it.
And then you go just like the heads together, you know, like.
Artists are not going to live by the rules of society all the time, and there's a role for art to make things unsafe. And the avant-garde artist, the individual artist who can see the world differently and then bring that perspective to her people and make people see things differently also is a very, very crucial role.
Taymor helped her audience see things differently in her first film, Fool's Fire, based on a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. The story is about the outsider, who in this film happens to be a dwarf. To force her audience to empathize with the main characters, only the two dwarfs remain unmasked.
But if I cast actors, fat actors in this role, wouldn't I be mocking them as well? You know, you have to think about that technique. If I cast in this movie every fat actor I could find and they're making fun, we would be laughing at them and we would be guilty of what the story is about.
Listen up, folks. Backed by popular demand, it's Popeye's Mardi Gras Madness. Now through Fat Tuesday, 8 pieces of mixed chicken for just $4.99. Mild or spicy, fresh chicken marinated in Louisiana seasonings and hand batter. Now through Fat Tuesday, February 5th only. 8 pieces, $4.99. So get those boogie shoes on and march on into your nearest Popeyes.
Looking for a little excitement? Bulls versus Nuggets in the St. Jude Shootout. See Peoria's own AJ Guyton. Plus, Co-Rookie of the Year, Elton Brand. Tickets on sale now. Can you dig it?